there. We're back. Rhonda Boyle with Anas Aldahoud, the Talent Maximizer. And we are here to talk about the influencing domain. This is our third video in our 5-part series. Good to see you, Anas.
Good to see you, Rhonda.
I'm going to get us started with the official Gallup definition of this domain. Those with dominant themes in the influencing domain help their team reach a much broader audience. These individuals can sell the team's ideas inside and outside the organization. When the team needs someone to take charge, speak up, and make sure the group is heard, look to someone with the strength to influence. Anas, tell us more about that.
You're absolutely right. I have a question or observation to all the coaches and trainers out there. Have you ever done like a training session when someone was like a troublemaker? He wanted to talk all the time. He wants to be involved. And trust me, those are the influencers. Like, of course, according to the Gallup definitions, you have to get him involved. People with high influencers, they want to talk. They want to get their message to a lot of people. They want to be around and in touch with people and audience all the time. They're the people who love to sell, and they are really people aware. They're actually aware. Like, remember in the execution domain, we said that these people are time aware. Actually, the influencing are the people aware. They are really amazing in hiring. They know how to hire. They actually have an eye for talent. And again, they're amazing in training, convincing, and they love questions. Like, if they never give direct feedback, like they want to always convince people through questions. And I think they are the middle man. Like they want to take like a strategy and a vision and take it into action. Like they want to take that message and give it to the executors as an action. And they are at their best around a lot of people. Like they not alone thinking or doing, they have to be around. And not even like relationship. Like with the relationship, you want to be around someone. But influencers, they want to be around a lot of people.
True story. I am in this domain and I just love being around people for sure. So help us understand how the brain works in a person who's dominant in this domain.
Again, I will compare it with execution. The second of our 5 video, the executing domain. We said they start with when, like when we can start, when we can finish. People in the influencing domain start with whom can we sell, whom can we reach, like whom is like a very important to them. They learn by talking and presenting, and they see the world as talkers and listeners. Like you're either talking to someone or you're listening to someone. Persuasion is very important to them, getting people engaged. And like they see motivation before action and ideas. Like you have to get the person motivated before you want him to think or to work. And they judge people through the way they communicate to others. The way they communicate, actually understand the other side. This is how people with high influence judge the people around them.
Yes, they have a lot of energy too, right? Yes, yeah, 100%. Sure. So help us know how they lead.
They lead by selling and creating teams. Like they know how to get their message across to a lot of people. They love macromanagement. Opposite of executing domain, which is micromanagement. They love micromanagement. They want to empower people and leave them. And actually, again, they don't want to, like if you have like a process that is happening, they don't like to be involved. Just show me the outcome. I'm gonna judge you on the outcome. I will give you like a target and leave you. And they want everybody to be motivated and happy. And this is how they lead. They just want to pass that energy they have to the people around them.
Yeah, I love that too. So what is their natural instinct when tackling new projects?
They want to be the connection between departments. Like if you have a project and there is a lot of departments, these are the best people to get them to talk to different departments and get everybody in line. They are the best person to tell you, this is the best person for that job. They have that eye for that, let's have that person in charge of this part. Remember in the execution domain, they want to plan for time and schedule. Here we want to plan for training and presentations. Like they want people to be in training all the time. They want a chance to present to them. and they want to make sure everybody is enjoying the role. Like they don't believe you should do something that you don't like. And the final thing, and this is very important, they have to enjoy the project. The project has to be very fulfilling and enjoyable for them.
Right. We're not going to be doing something that's a drag.
Yes.
That's
100%.
right. All right. So give us an example of how some talents can appear different within the context of this domain.
Very good. Again, let's take focus, for example. So focus in the influencing domain, I'm going to focus with that person until I get him convinced or he's persuaded, for example. If we take focus and it's in the middle of like a lot of you are like leading with strategic, I'm going to focus until I achieve that big picture, or I put my value across, for example. Again, harmony, the same thing. If it's in influencing domain, I'm not going to argue with you because I think you're not going to be convinced. But if I compare it with relationship, it's like harmony within someone high in relationship, I'm not going to argue with you because you might get upset. So this is how you see the difference, that the same strength can make a big of a difference depending on which domain you are high. And the last one is learner. So if it's in you're high in influencing, I'm going to learn to teach. Like I want to learn something so I can present it. But again, if it's high in the execution domain, I want to learn how to complete things or how to get things done.
Input is the same way. Like I want to become an expert so that I can talk about it, whatever the subject matter is, you know? So yes, 100%. Absolutely.
And again, if it's like strategic, I want to make a lot of input research to fulfill my study, you know? So it's really amazing, the difference. And it's the same strength, but it makes a big difference depending what domain you are.
So Anas, what do people high in the influencing domain really need in order to be most effective?
The first thing they need is they need actually people to listen. They need a crowd. They need a platform to share their ideas, or a platform to talk. They love freedom and autonomy. If someone in the high influencing domain, don't give him like restrictions, don't force like fixed working hours on him. They want to see that energy and excitement on the people around them. This is like really important. And again, they want to be recognized. This is something that you have to look for. And again, this is a really important subject, because before you ask them to deliver, you need to understand what they need. And this is why I'm sharing. I think this is very important to share this. And they need to understand visions. You cannot just like as a CEO come to them and like, do this. No, you need to explain to him why he needs to do that.
Exactly, because the more information that you share about it, the more they are going to talk about it or prepare to tell others, right? So that's why that's important.
Yes.
How does someone manage or coach an employee, or maybe they have a family member who is strong in this domain?
This is very good. Imagine you work in a company, and then the CEO or like the HR came and said, guys, starting from tomorrow, everybody needs to wear a tie. Okay, for someone in high influence, this is like, why, you know? So like you have to understand, when you manage people high in influencing, you need to explain, you need to give freedom. You need to compare them with others. I think very important, if you can start comparing them with the people around them, comparing them with success, this actually works very good with them. I think I found the strength approach actually to be one of the best ways to deal with people with high influencing, understanding more about different personalities and getting them to focus more on what they really good at. You need to give them a space to talk, give them a target and leave them, you know, don't be involved in like everyday process. Again, don't give them direct order, always ask questions instead of like that feedback. And again, judge them on the end results. Don't be involved, like just look at their end result. And this is have a lot of like monthly reviews with them. This is very important. They love to sit with their managers and have those talks. Remember, in the execution domain, we said you need to give them the tools for them to execute. Here, I think you need to give them the power. They want to feel like they're empowered. They have the freedom to do things. You know, sometimes if they make mistakes, they're not like on the spot or anything.
They just learned what not to do.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And this is the most important thing. Just ask them, what is the best way to get the best out of you? Go as a manager, go ask people high in influencing domain, how can we manage you? How to get the best out of you? Trust me, you will get a lot of really amazing feedback.
Yeah, we want to tell you.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly.
And
Yes,
I want to
exactly.
address that part where you talked about change. Like sometimes sales managers, especially when they're trying to get more out of, or they have a hot new goal, or there's something changes, and all of a sudden they wonder what happened to the numbers.
Yeah.
And those types of disruptions, if all of a sudden, if a salesperson in particular doesn't have clarity on what they're selling, or they lose faith in what they're selling, they will not sell.
Yeah,
so
100,
look at what's
100%.
going on. It's not that they're a bad salesperson. It's that suddenly something's not clear, or something has changed and is no longer in alignment with them. So that's really, really important to think about. Let's
100%.
talk about the downside of these influencers. What can go wrong?
I'm going to remind people that the downside in the domains comes from two things. It's how aware you are of your domain, and from your lesser domains as well. So again, in this line that you see in front of you, he's really high in influencing, but he has actually two domains which are very low, which is executing and strategic. And I'm reminding you, it's not about mature and immature. It's really about avoiding the things that you are not really good at. So again, in this case, he's very, again, and you can see in the line, he's very low in strategic. So don't try to fix like long-term goals for yourself. It's not something that you're really good at or talented. Don't try to force it on yourself. And again, thinking alone versus thinking around people. If you're that person who is high in influencing and low in strategic, why think alone? Every time you need to come up with a decision, have people around you. It really will bring the best out of you. So the downside are, these are the troublemakers. It's very hard to manage, and actually, this is, if you manage someone with high influencer, this gives you like, and you get the best out of him, that means you're a really good manager. If managing influencers, this is the test for manager that tells the difference between the really good managers and not. Again, it doesn't mean if they are listening, they will do what it's told them. You know, it doesn't mean they are listened. They will do what is told to them. They need to be happy to get outcome out of them. This is very important. They might be too talkative sometimes. Rules and regulation, again, it's not going to work in them. System, again, they're really hard when you give them direct feedback. So all of these things are the downside for people high in influencer. They might sometimes find problems too late. They're so focused on the people around them, and then suddenly they found the problem happening around them. This is one of the downsides again. And they might transfer information without checking the credibility of it. And I think this is also one of the biggest downsides of high influencers.
Yeah, they are making decisions sometimes based on emotion, right?
Yes.
Because they're peoplers. They really, and people tend to be more emotional than those who are task oriented. So I certainly get that. Now, help us understand, what part do they belong on, or where do they play on a team?
Again, I would remind people that the best teams are not necessarily balanced in all 4 domains. It's about maybe what the team is doing more of, and their awareness of each other, and how they can complete each other's weaknesses. They are, if you're a high influencer, lead the meetings. God give you the ability to lead and influence people. Lead the meeting. Allocate tasks based on talent. I think this is the biggest value they bring to teams, is they really allocate they want the best person to do that job. They simplify. Sometimes in a big meeting you get lost, or in a big team, they simplify the information going around. And the final, and I think this is definitely the biggest value they give to the team, is they can be the voice of the team and individuals. Like, they can take the message of the team and pass it outside, and actually they can be the voice of people within the team that maybe they don't have the courage to speak. And this is the really good part you can play in the team.
I've always said that I was good at taking the words out of other people's mouths. And that's exactly what happens, isn't it? Oh, wow.
100%.
Well, great information on these amazing influencers. And so thank you so much for sharing all of that, Anas. And thank you for joining us. And we will be back with the next part of our 5-part series. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Anas, we'll see you then.